Welcome to Speak and Inspire. Book your first speaking gig with a keynote speech that inspires, even if you're just getting started speaking at events. I am so glad you're here. I am really excited for this training. It is going to be fun, fast, easy, and a ton of value. So I know you're probably wondering, who is this training for? Well, it's for the people who are tired of watching others steal the show and the stage. So if you've ever been to an event where you're sitting in the back of the room with your arms crossed, watching the speaker, thinking, ugh, I could do it so much better, this is for you. It's also for you if you dream of sharing your message, if you dream of standing on stage, but you're not really sure what your message is. You feel stuck. So it's that juxtaposition of like, I could do it better, and then, oh, wait, what would I even say? Like those can exist in the same space, and you may be feeling them now. So you avoid being center stage because you just don't know what your message is, and that's holding you back from getting the credit that you deserve. And a part of you secretly thinks, why would anyone listen to me? You battle some negative internal dialogue when you are speaking, getting in the way of what you're trying to say. You feel the pressure to be perfect as the face of the company. And you maybe, whenever you speak, standing up there, your mouth goes dry, palms sweat, legs shake, throat closes up. I've seen it all. This is for founders and CEOs who have to be the face of their brand and their company within their community. It's for business leaders who speak at events to attract clients, generate leads, and develop sales and marketing opportunities. And for leaders who want to share their message to become known in their community as a thought leader. So people who really know their stuff and want to start sharing that knowledge with others so that the community can kind of rise together and inspire others with their message, making a positive impact. So here is what you will get today. I'm going to be covering in this training the exact steps that I give my clients to speak with confidence, credibility, and charisma. To develop a strategy to gain ROI, return on investment, from those speaking gigs. Book your very first speaking gig and leverage the one thing you need to do to create a keynote speech that inspires others. Here's my promise to you. I will give you a 4-step framework for booking your first speaking gig with a keynote speech that inspires. It's my proven system for speaking with confidence without feeling like an imposter, even if you're just getting started speaking at events. This is a clear-cut strategy for getting clients, a flood of ROI, a flood of financial abundance, of people who are eager to work with you just by you talking about your message, talking about your knowledge, and sharing that information. People are going to be drawn and attracted to you if you can craft it in the right way. Just to clarify, there is nothing for sale today. I don't have anything for sale, but if you stay to the end of the training, I do have a gift for you. So, does this sound like you? You represent the face of your company and you feel the pressure to be perfect. You want to be a thought leader and you know your stuff, but you don't feel like an expert. You would feel uncomfortable calling yourself an expert to other people. You're not really sure how to book your first speaking gig, and you want to speak, but you are just not clear about what you want to speak about. And a part of you secretly thinks, why would anyone listen to me? Why would anyone care what I have to say? And I feel like such a fake, and I sound like a total idiot. You want to motivate and inspire others, but you don't know how to make that happen. And you're losing out on opportunities by watching other peers in your industry get on stage and attract those dream clients. And you're thinking, I'm losing that opportunity. That could be me. Why are they going to that person? I'm so much better at this stuff. I know my stuff. So it's that frustration, right? One more day and you will go crazy and cry as you perform a speech for your cat, because at least she listens. Here's the truth. You can speak with confidence without feeling like an imposter, even if you're just getting started speaking at events. The real problem is that you're just missing a framework for how to make that happen. And that is the 4-part framework that I'm going to be handing you today. After you apply this framework, you'll be able to speak with confidence. You'll develop a clear strategy to gain real ROI on speaking gigs. You can position yourself as an authentic expert. You can book your very first speaking gig and create an inspirational keynote to the thunderous applause of your audience. So, a little bit about me. My name is Rachel Brewster. I am a keynote speaking coach. As you can see, I do some keynote speaking myself. So these are a couple of international events. That picture in the middle is in Barcelona at Leading Futures, which was focused on inspiration and innovation. To the left, I'm an MC, and to the right is actually my graduation from my Master's in Business Administration, my MBA. I am a total theater geek. Surprise! That picture of me laughing and reaching for the camera is actually at a Sound of Music tour in Salzburg, Austria, where they shot the movie. And then there is me on stage with the most ridiculous facial expression ever. So I do a lot of traveling, I do a lot of speaking, and that's just a little bit about me. The picture to the left in the red is me in London. The right in the green is Rome, and then Barcelona in the middle. Well, speaking wasn't always this easy. When I started speaking, I really struggled with feeling uncomfortable calling myself an expert in my field. And I just ran in circles trying to find speaking gigs, or like didn't know exactly where to go or who to talk to, or if I actually found the person I should talk to. What do I say? Like, what are the words that I use to be like, I would love to speak at your event. Please bring me. And then creating a meaningful message that would be positively, that would give positive impact to the people that are listening, that they could walk away with something really meaty and juicy and meaningful, and then also have an inspirational component to it. Bottom line, the 4 secrets that I learned over time, these are the secrets that can transform you into a confident, credible, and charismatic speaker. First thing you need to do is master your mindset in order to be able to speak with confidence. It starts with all of those things like, why would anyone listen to me? Why would anyone care what I have to say? I'm not an expert. Other people know so much more than I do. I feel like a fake. Everyone knows this stuff already. Why am I even talking about it? People know, like they got this. I sound like a moron. Why do we think like this? Why are all of those thoughts swirling in our brain? Look, part of it, we were told to shut up as a kid, and that has lodged itself in our brain. That someone said to us when we were a kid, and we have just continued to tell that story. Shut up and be quiet, sit down, because nobody wants to hear what you have to say. That little moment when we were younger could still be lodged in our brain and continuing to tell ourselves the same story today. You've also got the imposter syndrome cycle. So you either over prepare and you do an amazing job and people are like, you're awesome. And then you walk away and you think, well, the only reason I was successful is because of hard work. Like, it's not me, it's all the work that I put into it. So you're pushing off the credit that you deserve and focusing it on, oh, it's because of that other thing that's external to me. It's not because of me. I'm not successful. And then the other flip side of that coin, some people procrastinate the heck out of a speech. They procrastinate on speaking. And then if they manage to do a good job, which is a 50-50 shot, right? You might just flub it all up and do horrible, and then you totally spiral. But if you actually do a good job, then because of the procrastination, you go, whew, that was luck. I got lucky. I don't have any innate talents or skills. I just got lucky. So you can see how that gets trapped in your mind and repeats itself over and over. We also have a massive fear of failure, let's be honest. And then we feel the need to be perfect or special or the best. I have to do the best job ever. And then discounting or denial of praise. So you do a really great job. You put in the hard work, or you feel like you got lucky, and somebody comes up to you and goes, oh my gosh, that was really good. Like, thank you. I needed to hear that today. And you don't internalize it. You just let it go. And you go, oh, that doesn't count. Or they were just being nice. That's a common one. They were just being nice. They didn't really mean that. And then fear and guilt about being successful. Sometimes we don't feel it's safe to be successful, so we hold ourselves back from the person we could be. So what if you could speak with confidence, credibility, and charisma? You could really feel like an expert, not just pay lip service to being an expert. You could energize, excite, and engage your audience. Feeling calm, centered, and clear-minded on stage. Like the best version of yourself. Really authentic and comfortable in your own skin. Well, confidence begins with mindset. So in order to shift all of those limiting beliefs that you have right now, the way that we do that, the tactics to that strategy, is to reframe and refocus. So change from nobody wants to listen to me to I have great ideas. I am passionate about sharing my ideas with others. I am energized by speaking to people about what I love. I really enjoy this one. I was working with a client recently who she was really stuck on nobody wants to listen to what I have to say. And we took a step back, and she's a servant leader. And I was like, what if you said, how can I best serve today? And that did a 180 on her mindset, and she started showing up in a completely different way, and you could feel it in the way that she commanded the room. So I'm also open to connection. That's part of why you're speaking. The passion I have for my work allows me to create true value. So not like these people who like to get up on stage and just sell and like, work with me, work with me. I actually deliver value because I'm passionate about what I do and the people I serve. Speaking my mind with confidence is just something I naturally do. Working with Rachel has completely transformed the way I think of myself as a speaker. Now I feel so much more authentic and at home on stage. A review from the executive director of a large organization called Team Women. So After you master your mindset and realize that you are about delivering value and serving others, let's talk about how we clarify our strategy for moving forward. So, what would I even speak about? Who do I want to help? What events are aligned with my ideal client? How can I engage my audience? How can I make them understand what I have to offer? How can I be like those speakers who just seem to magnetize clients? This can be so frustrating if you haven't started speaking yet, or if you have done a couple of speaking gigs and you've seen speakers get on stage and just they can't step a foot off of stage, a toe off of stage without just getting flooded with people who are like, I want to talk to you. We need to get coffee and like, let's talk. And then you get up there and you do your thing. And then afterwards it's crickets. Like nobody is interested in asking follow-up question. Nobody wants to talk to me about working together. Like, what is going on here? This is so frustrating. So why do we lack this clarity? Hello, we're busy. And it's a lack of time, focus, or priority. You have so many things that you need to do in your day, in your business, that taking the time to figure out what your strategy is, what your speaking strategy is, that just takes a whole level of clarity and thoughtfulness and groundedness that it's easy to push that off when you've got 45 fires to put out. It's also really hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. So what is my strategy? What is my message? I feel so lost and unclear, and what would I even say? All of these things, it's hard to talk about ourselves when we know ourselves so well that we can't articulate that one message or one strategy point or leverage point. It's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. So what if you could be 100% clear on your speaking sweet spot? You can clearly identify your ideal clients and audiences. You know what events they go to, which means you can focus your energy and craft a message that engages that audience, that delivers value to them, and gets you flooded with clients who want to work with you. Not just anybody, you. So you can become a thought leader in your field, the go-to person. Oh, I know who you need to talk about sales and marketing with. You definitely need to talk to Andrew. And you can actually positively impact somebody's life by having a clear speaking strategy. If you can really deliver value to them, you could completely change their mental paradigm, how they're thinking about themselves, their lives, or their business. And they could go home and change everything because of you. I mean, I think that's really meaningful work. So for a strategy, what you need to do is develop your speaker's book. Let's talk about that speaker's book. How do we get clear on our speaking strategy by developing a speaker's book? So all of the really good speakers have what I will call a metaphorical book. So the theme of what you become known for. The way that they think about it is, I have an overarching theme, an umbrella, and then I have sub-chapters. There we go. Your book is the big picture. And then I have sub-chapters that are topic specific, are really tactical on the how-to. So you've got the big picture, and you could go somewhere and you could talk about that big picture topic and theme. at a high level, at a strategic level for the people who need that level. Or you could go to the same event and you could go deep on one of these issues. Here is the social media strategy and the XYZ that you need to achieve. So that would be a chapter, whereas the book would be how to create inspiring leaders. The benefits of a speaker's book strategy is that it allows you to be authentic about who you are and the message that you're trying to get across. It's also really clear what your unique skill set is, and it's inspirational. So people start to think of you as being known for this thing, this theme, this metaphorical speaker's book, and you become the go-to person. And when ideal clients hear that message, either the high-level umbrella or the tactical how-to, they think, oh my gosh, me too. I have a story just like that. Or they'll listen to the tactical and go, that is what I'm missing. I completely overlooked that. Oh my gosh, thank goodness this person educated me on that. So you feel authentic and free, you're clear on your message. It allows you the freedom. What I say by freedom, what I mean is you can start mixing your personal and professional life to give a holistic sense of yourself. So the professional is going to be the value adds and the takeaways that you deliver to your audience. And then the inspirational is the personal side of your journey of how you learned all of, like, how did you come across these value adds and takeaways that are so necessary? You didn't just stumble across them. They were part of your journey and the struggles and the triumphs. So you get to mix those things and you can speak about what you're really passionate about, what your sweet spot is, and then inspire others by sharing the personal journey that I was just talking about. And through that, you start magnetizing those clients because they're like, you're just like me, but in this arena, you're about 5 steps ahead. You are both me and who I want to be in the future. I have got to work with you because you've done what I want to do. Yes, please. All right. So once we feel confident in our expertise and we have a speaking strategy with your book, how do you book your very first speaking gig? So many people make the mistake of thinking that the only way to get a speaking gig is to do a good job and then hope that there's somebody in the audience who comes up to you afterwards with a business card and is like, you should speak at my next event. But then it's a catch-22 because how do you get on stage in the first place? Yeah, you're kind of screwed. How do I even find these events to speak at in the first place? How do I contact, or who do I contact about being a speaker at those events? How do I reach out to that person? What do I say? This is so weird and awkward. I really want to do this thing, but I don't have the words, like literally the language of saying, I want to do it. What do I say? Why do we get frustrated? It's a lack of a clear action plan, especially going back to you have 1,000 fires to put out in a day. It's like, how do I do this thing? I have no roadmap. I have no plan or strategy of how to move forward. And so then we end up pushing it off because the urgency of what's happening right now versus what we want to do in the future with speaking, it's easy to just push that off, especially if nobody is holding you accountable. And you're worried about feeling salesy, right? Like, oh, I want to do this thing, but I don't know how to say it. Oh. So, what if you had a step-by-step guide, step-by-step guide for booking speaking gigs? And goals, or a person to hold you accountable. Feeling authentic and aligned instead of salesy. And what if booking gigs was fun and easy. Guess what? It can be fun and easy if you start opening yourself up to connection. So, the first thing you can do is set a goal to reach out to 3 to 5 events every week. So that's the goal for holding you accountable. So how do you find events? You guys, there are so many ways to find events. So many people who need speakers, good speakers at their events. So here are a few. Eventbrite.com is a place where event coordinators and hosts post their events. You can see what's coming up, and you can reach out to them about being a speaker. You can keyword search based on location. So, for example, Minnesota plus marketing conference, and a bunch will pop up that are going to be in your area or whatever location you choose and your specialty. You can reach out to contacts on LinkedIn, and then follow speakers bureaus on Twitter and see what they're talking about, either for the upcoming this year, or put a peg and go, oh, I would want to be, it's too late to be a speaker for that event this year, but I'm going to contact them about speakers for next year, because I bet I could get on their docket, because they plan these things in advance, right? If you want to speak at companies, you can also search the name of a particular company plus banquet or employee event or annual leadership conference, those sorts of things. Also, hashtags work, like hashtag keynote speaker. And you can find, these are just ways to find what events are out there. So I want to go from the scarcity mentality of like, oh, there really isn't anything out there, to, oh my goodness, there is so many places that I could speak. So once you find the event, how do you create a connection with the person who's actually hosting the event? First of all, let's keep it short and sweet. Be considerate. And remember that this is a first date, not marriage. One of the things that I see aspiring speakers do wrong is they will reach out and be like, hey, I saw that you are the person at this event, and I would be great because all of these reasons, and check out my website, and blah. It's too much. It's way too much. Let's take a first date first. An example of how you would do that. Hey, what is your process for choosing speakers for the XYZ event? I'd love to be considered. Short, considerate, first date, not marriage. So basically, this is asking, like, are you available? Are you open to connecting? Do you need someone? And it's a 2-sentence email. Super short. Another way of saying this is, hey, I saw your upcoming XYZ event. Who books your speakers? So then you'll be directed to the right person, because if there are many people who are helping organize the event, the person who posted on Eventbrite might not be the person who's actually booking the gigs, because the person who does the sales and marketing for the event might be a different person than who is booking the event, but they will know who you should be put in contact with. And with a simple 2-sentence email like that, you'll get the right person, no problem. All right, so now we're in the position of needing to be able to create an inspiring keynote speech, not just a keynote speech, but an inspiring keynote speech. This goes back to, how do I organize my thoughts? I now have my speaker's book. I know there's a specific niche that I want to fill and what I'm good at, but like, how do I talk about what I want to talk about? How do I prove that I know what I'm talking about? How can I deliver value? How can I make people walk away going, oh my gosh, I never thought about that? How can I create positive impact and inspire them to action? All right, it's easy to get lost in organizing a keynote speech because we don't know what to say first. And there's a fine line between being an expert and being a cringe-worthy know-it-all. I was literally talking to a guy about this last night. Oof, those cringe-worthy know-it-alls. not fun or attractive, not what you want to be. You're really unsure about how to talk about your personal story in a way that isn't cringeworthy, in a way that isn't selfish or self-centered, in a way that inspires others. You also may end up having an overwhelming amount of stories and examples that you could give. You know so much about the topic that you verbal vomit. Just say all of the things, tell all of the things, because this is the way that I phrase it. The audience is thirsty for your knowledge. They really want to get value. They're ready. They're saying, I'm thirsty. And then a speaker gets up there and goes, I know everything. Drink from this fire hose. And the audience walks away drenched, but still thirsty. Because if you give people too much information, they're not going to be able to absorb it all. So we need to figure out how to give bite-sized pieces. So what if you could organize your thoughts in a way that is clear, compelling, and charismatic? How you can position yourself as an authentic expert instead of a know-it-all. Really deliver value to your audience in a way that they can, quote unquote, drink. Craft a cohesive story about your personal journey that resonates with the audience, motivates them, and inspires them to action. All right, so let's talk about how you craft that inspirational speech. This is the structure. There are 3 steps, 3 easy steps. First, you position yourself as an expert. Second, you deliver value or takeaways to your audience. And then you inspire others by sharing your personal journey or heart story within the context of that topic, speech topic, whichever one you chose. Why is structuring like that effective? All right, we got to get real. True story. Many people, many speakers step on stage and they start with their personal story because I think they think, well, we love stories, right? They're really compelling and interesting. So they start with that because they want to engage their audience in their story. All right, here's the problem, and here's where I'm going to get real with you and be super honest and a little bit of a B. When the audience is sitting there, they are thinking, why should I listen to you? And what's in it for me? They don't care about your personal story, not yet, because you need to tell them why they should listen to you. You want to engage them and be compelling in the beginning, but that needs to coincide with, also, I'm an expert in my field. Also, I'm going to deliver value to you. I'm going to give to you. And once you satisfy those needs, back up for a moment. If you feel skeptical about, oh, an audience isn't that cynical, they're not thinking, why should I listen to you and what's in it for me? Think about the last time that you were in that audience. Really. Before that person stepped on stage, what were you thinking? Oh, what's this person going to talk about? Do they really know what they're talking about? Am I going to be bored? Like, am I going to get anything out of this? I took off work for this and I'm at this event. Like, what am I going to get out of it? We have to address those issues before we can help them feel open to connection and feeling motivated and inspired. So by giving them what they need, by attending to their needs and giving, then after that, once we've attended to their needs, then we can help them feel open to connection. So we're going to dive into today is the first part of that speech structure, positioning yourself as an expert. And I'm going to focus on this one and not dive into the other ones because I find that this is where my clients struggle the most with that audience answering the silent audience's question of what's in it, why should I listen to you, right? So how do I position myself as an expert, feel authentic in calling myself an expert, and and not a know-it-all. Feel good on stage. So this is the one we're going to dive into for speech structure, positioning yourself as an expert in answering the question, why should I listen to you? Here are the secrets. Number one, leverage your MC. Use them so that you can position yourself an expert before you even get on the stage. And then once you're on stage, you've got about 60 seconds to make them love you. Just being honest, that is our attention span. Then you can reinforce your expert status with a technique I call am, do, means. And finally, share a client success story. Let's dive into each one of those points a little bit more. So leveraging your MC before you step on stage, write your own introduction. As a keynote speaking coach, there is nothing more painful than hearing the words, "And now this next speaker needs no introduction." Oh God, no, you need an introduction. You need one so bad. And I would love to think that MCs come prepared and know everything about you and can articulate it well and build you up in a certain way and speak with confidence about who you are. But most are just not that prepared. So writing your own introduction adds credibility to your credentials. And this other person is standing up there speaking about you, hyping you up. The audience doesn't know that you wrote this introduction, so they are bragging about you and amping you up, but you don't look like a know-it-all because somebody else is talking about how awesome you are. That has a lot more credibility to it than you saying, "Hey, I'm awesome." Somebody else is saying, "You got to listen to this next person. They are awesome." All right, so then you've got about 60 seconds to make them love you. This one is tough. I've seen it done super, super well. I'm looking for just that one or two statements that will make them laugh or get them excited or get them engaged. So I've seen one of the ones that I have is everybody claps when you walk on stage, and I say, "Oh, thank you for that applause. There is nothing I love more in an audience than good taste." And everybody gets a little bit of a chuckle. Or I saw a speaker get on stage the other day, and he was a teacher, and he said, 40 years in teaching, and I retired, and they gave me a plaque. And the audience laughed. It doesn't need to be super funny. It's just something to engage your audience. And then I love that he followed it up with, "I was hoping for something more like a statue," or something. Oh, he was so sweet. So on top of the language, opening up your body language, make your arms as wide as possible, as if you're like an opened armed hug. It shows you're comfortable and in control. Memorize your first few lines. So that example of the audience with good taste, or the teacher who has all these years of experience and just got a plaque instead of a statue. Memorizing those is going to make you feel so much more comfortable because you step on stage, your adrenaline's pumping, and you've got those first lines in the back of your mind ready to go. You feel confident, you feel connected, you know what you're going to say. Makes a big difference. And add appropriate humor. Add humor, but it needs to be appropriate, like the teacher example. All right, so once they love you, how do we reinforce your expert status? This is the technique of am, do, means. So you should be able to synthesize or drill down on what you do in a very short way. So my example is, I'm Rachel Brewster with Unforgettable Leadership. That's my am. What I do, I am a keynote speaking coach. And what that means is I help people sharpen their speaking skills to become an unforgettable leader. What is that? 2, 3 sentences, super short and concise, easy to memorize. And by the way, side note, works really well at networking events because it's clear and concise. So jot that one down as a note. I found that really helpful. Learned that advice from a friend. So our third step when we get on stage is to share a client success story. So we're not sharing your story yet. We are sharing a client's success story. Be strategic in your choice of story, because what you're really doing here, even though you're positioning yourself as an expert, what you're doing is planting a seed in the minds of the audience of the kind of clients that you work with. So you want to organize your story in the STAR method. So how do we tell this story? You talk about the situation, the task, the action, and the result. So I had a client who felt really uncomfortable speaking on stage. That's the situation. Task. It was my job to refocus and reframe her framework, her mentality, so that she could build that internal confidence within herself. The way that I did that when we worked together was XYZ. And the result is she now speaks in front of audiences of 800, 1,000 people and rocks that stage, right? So by framing it this way, you're talking about the clients that you worked with and how you made them successful. So this is planting a seed in the audience's mind of they know what they're doing, they have an example, and they've clearly been successful with others. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Maybe they could do the same for me. And then it plants a seed in the audience's mind. So whatever ideal client you're going for, this is the story that you want to tell about them now in this moment. Before working with Rachel, I was so lost. I knew I wanted to speak, but I didn't know what I wanted to speak about. Now I feel 100% clear about my message and feel confident when I step on stage. Director of recruiting for a firm called Core Talent, one of my favorite clients. All right, so today I promised a 4-step framework for booking your first speaking gig with a keynote speech that inspires. My proven system for speaking with confidence without feeling like an imposter, even if you're just getting started speaking at events. A clear-cut strategy for getting real ROI, a flood of dream clients who are eager to work with you, and a constant stream of financial abundance, all from speaking. So let's recap. You speak with confidence by up-leveling and mastering your mindset. Clarify your strategy for developing your speaker's book, so that big overarching theme, and then drilling down and getting tactical with subchapters. Book your first speaking gig by opening yourself up to connection, reaching out via those means that I mentioned, Eventbrite, Google searches, certain keyword searches, and then actually saying, first date, not marriage, hey, I see you have this event coming up. Who books the speakers for your event? Create an inspiring keynote speech by positioning yourself as an expert, leveraging your MC, making them love you within 60 seconds, introducing yourself with am-do means, and leveraging your strategic client success story. You also are going to deliver value to your audience. We weren't able to get to that today, so that will be in the handout, as well as how to share your heart story to inspire others to action, which you will also get in the handout at the end of this. All right, so moving forward, what do you do from here? You completely have the option to stay where you're at. This is a free training. I hope that it helped you, and if this is it for you, you don't want to move forward, you're not ready, you can. You could try to piece this together on your own, which is exhausting, or you can take this 4-step framework and start booking gigs, speaking with confidence, and inspiring thousands of people with your message. I have set aside some time in the next 2 to 3 days to speak with you one-on-one about how you can apply this framework to your life today. Here's how it works. You can click on the button below, and this will take you to our calendar where you can select a time slot. I'll call you at your scheduled time, and on the call, we will work with you to create your action plan to achieve what you want in your business through speaking in the next 90 days. Book your spot at unforgettableleadership.com/book. This is for founders and CEOs who are the face of their brand in their community. Professionals who speak at events to attract clients, generate leads, and develop sales and marketing opportunities. And business leaders who want to share their message to become a thought leader in their field, to make a positive impact in their community, and inspire others. If that is you, book your session now. Why am I doing this? Honestly, I love it. If you can't tell in the last, 45 or so minutes, I love this stuff. I am just passionate about helping people understand their own story, craft it, and use it to inspire others. So when I use that term, it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. I love being the person who helps you see your picture, see your message, because I'm outside of the frame. I can draw that out of others. Plus, I know many of you need personalized support to book that first speaking gig, to speak with confidence, and to create an inspirational keynote speech. We can discuss that at the end of the call too and see if we're a good fit. And if we're not a good fit, that's okay too. If we do decide to work together, you'll get the exact resources, full-on support, and accountability I give to all of my clients to hit their goals. It's a comprehensive program. I personally guide you step by step so you're never alone. I help you speak with confidence without feeling like an imposter, even when you're just getting started speaking at events. Hurry and book now. Spaces are limited for this program. So if this is you, if you feel that this training resonates with you and you want to move further in your journey, please book now before it gets filled up. Spaces are limited. Please go to unforgettableleadership.com/book. I look forward to speaking to you soon.